Hey, Beaky.
Yep.
What do you think about this weather? Pretty nice and warm. Yeah, we've been kind of busy. We've had a really busy week of fishing. We've had some family stuff we've been focusing on the last couple days. So you may have not seen a ton of content from me. So on and off the water a whole lot. But you know, we'll get back after here hopefully soon. But we spent a lot of time on the water this week. We chased a whole lot of fish. It is relatively warm outside. You just asked me right before this video. What'd you ask me?
When is it gonna get cold outside?
Callie wants to know when it's gonna get cold outside. Well, if you look at the forecast, it's not gonna be cold anytime soon. I think I see 80s this week here in the Twin Cities. It was beautifully warm every day this last week. We started most days and ended most days in hoodies. Callie's got a hoodie on, I got a hoodie on now. It's Sunday evening, at late afternoon evening, and some mornings we had vests on. It was 50s, slight breeze, felt nice, but by the time we left, we were into shorts and sun shirts. It's that time of year where I always joke around. We start the morning with the heater on in the truck, and we end the day with the air conditioner on in the truck. So you never know what to expect this time of year, and honestly, it's a little abnormally warm. I've had that conversation with a lot of clients past week on temperatures and where we at typically. I would say we're behind schedule because of how warm it's been. Weed growth is still up. Water temps are still in the 70s. I saw mid 70s at one point. As we recap this last week, there was times the water temp was back into the mid 70s. Generally speaking, the last few days, low 70s is kind of where we topped out at. And we would see some maybe upper 60s right away in the morning, but it creeped up into the 70s pretty quick. And that's just kind of what we saw every day. This was probably one of the most consistent weeks in terms of weather I've seen this entire year. It was almost the exact same weather pattern every single day this last week, which, as we've talked about, stability is king, and we had that this last week. So it's pretty apparent that the weather did what we wanted it to do. You liked the weather, didn't you? Was recess nice?
Yeah.
Was running around at football practices and games nice?
Yeah.
Goofing off? Are you excited for this week again? Run around and chase some people at football?
Yeah.
All right, so it's been fun. So what are some of the fish doing? What's happening? So we had a pretty consistent trend almost every day. You know, I'll be honest. Catching a pile of big fish, it was hit or miss. We had a couple days this past period where we caught some really nice bass. We hit weed lines, weed clumps. We even did some inside weed line stuff. It still seemed like things are consistent with what we've talked about. 8 to 15 feet are better sized bites. We really didn't catch a lot of fish deeper than that. We did throw some chatterbaits, some spinnerbaits, moderate success. Some guys did really well this week, I know, doing that. We had a couple corporate events even on Lake Minnetonka where some guys did really well throwing moving baits. Us, not so much. We continued to throw the Ned. Jigworm got bit, a bigger jigworm, a longer jigworm. Chartreuse head, green pumpkin body, shocker, right? That got bit. We caught some pike. We broke off a whole bunch. We did hit some smaller lakes in and around the Minnetonka area. Honestly, just to kind of clear our heads and reset a little bit, because Minnetonka has been kind of back and forth. Did not target many walleyes at all this week. Looks like we have some potential for some walleyes later next week. We'll see what this weather does. But again, I sound like a broken record because it's just been warm. Do you like it warm? You want it cool now, don't you?
Yeah.
You want to rock hoodies and just get after it. So that's what we're seeing here. So we talked about the bass, talked about the pike. We continue to lean on the panfish. Last week we talked about little minnow swim baits. The sassy stingum from Mr. Twister. We talked about that, caught a bunch of fish. Been a variety of ways to catch them. I had some questions since then about, you mentioned that small Ned. You mentioned some of the other paddle tails, things like that. There's been some interest in the crappie side of things, and I don't blame people. The bite's fun. Every day we've gone out fishing this last week, we have spent at least half, in some trips more, targeting crappies, targeting bluegills. It's been a fun bite. It's been a prevalent bite. It's been a consistent bite. And I'll touch on that a little bit. So, but like I said, the bass side of things, if you want to flip, you catch some fish. I see anglers catching fish around docks. We did not fish a lot of docks, did not skip many docks. To be honest, there's not a lot of docks being pulled yet, so they are there. It looks like summer out there. I know it's hard to believe today is September 28th, so when I come at you again in a week, it's going to be October. You like October? What happens in October?
Halloween.
Oh, the end of October's Halloween. I'm not gonna lie. I'm excited for that too. So a lot of things to be excited for down the pipeline, and it's hard to believe we are finishing up September. So let's talk panfish. You like crappies? What's your favorite thing about crappies?
They're so good to eat.
I knew she was gonna say she likes to eat them. So I can usually get Callie to eat fish sometimes, but if it's crappies,
All the time.
guaranteed. So what do you like so much about eating crappies? It's like how they taste. Do you like the fact that you just catch big ones all the time?
I guess so.
All right, should we tell them what we're using to catch crappies?
Yeah.
All right, let's start with this Ned rig. We talked about a baby Ned rig, right? And people might think I'm talking about a Kleenex term. No, I'm actually talking about a little baby Ned rig. Z-Man makes a little Ned head. It's a cute little guy. You can buy it right at Thorne Brothers. A little Ned head and actually a little Ned body. Very thing you use for bass, just downsized, miniaturized for panfish. 32nd ounce, 16th ounce. You can even go lighter, 10th ounce Ned head in a various amount of colors, whether it's white, chartreuse, black, and then you get your favorite Ned body. This is a very versatile way to catch fish. Same setup we've talked about. I make a rod right at Thorne Brothers called the OW Crappie. This is a St. Croix blank here. We have another custom Thorne rod here. So something in the ultralight variety, 7 foot, 7'6". You can cast it a long ways, 1000 series Shimano, and I'm using a 5-pound copolymer. 5 pound, this is actually 5-pound P-line. Fluoro clear, great application, great line setup for this application. Just gets bit, go around and pitch. The funny thing about this, Callie, you wanna know what's cool? And there's people watching that probably know, bass fish in the morning, catch some bass, catch some pike, fun. Go crappie fishing. When do you think we catch our biggest bass?
Probably like July or June.
Oh, she's went ahead of me and talked about the month. We catch our biggest bass on this time of year. So we go bass fishing, then we go crappie fishing, and boom, we catch our bigger bass. That's happened 3 times this week. So there's your Ned. That looks fun, huh? Would you catch up a crappie on that?
Yeah.
Or would you rather use the one that's in your hand?
I mean, this one looks like a minnow, so I'd probably use this one.
Should we talk about this one? Here, I'll show the camera this one. So this is gonna be your minnow style bait, right? Your paddle style bait. And this has got a little minnow head. You can see that paddle tail. This is about a 2.5-inch profile. There's a variety of little paddle tails that work. And you just pitch this in cover water. This has been great when you see little clusters of fish. You've heard me talk about crappies in little groups of 4, 5, 6, 7. Now it can be way more efficient with something like this, kind of casting and strolling right through those little pods of fish. And if you don't have forward-facing sonar, that's okay. Anglers are asking me, what if I don't have forward-facing sonar? No problem. This is probably even the better application in that situation, just to cover water. Now I'm not burning this in. It's just a real slow, steady retrieve. Picture that if you're casting into 10 feet of water, you want to be 5, 6, 7 feet down. If you're in 8 feet of water, you want to be 4, 5, 6 feet down. So picture how this bait sinks, maybe even pitch it on the side of the boat, count it down, and you want to retrieve at a speed where it gets down to that depth just a few feet off the bottom. They're not always hugging the bottom, and they're not, generally speaking, this time of year, right under the surface. They're a little below halfway down. Now we've caught a lot of crappies just letting it go on the bottom and just kind of hopping it back. That's worked well too, which you can still do with this application, but this one allows me to really cover water and just chase down fish. So that's kind of, if you ask me, your 1-2 punch. It's gonna be a tube style bait, a Ned head style bait, and then your swim style bait. You can also implement that sassy stingum we talked about last week. That caught a lot of fish this week too. But generally speaking, it's a jig head, it's a plastics, it's not a float, not a bobber bite. It is a get after it, chase them down, pitch around, have some fun. Hook sets are free. You feel a bump, what do?
Hooks it.
Boom, set the hook and reel them in. So don't neglect the crappies this time of year. It's been our kind of slam dunk here. I'm hoping to have a more consistent pattern on the bass. We're catching them, but we're working for them, if that makes sense. Don't be scared of that. You can still get plenty of bass, get plenty of pike. I know anglers are getting walleyes. PJ McDonald on Tonka's catching walleyes. I feel like every time I see him post something. So PJ, shout out to you. You're crushing them. So there's a lot of variety, a lot of options right now if you're out there chasing some fish. And one of the coolest things about right now, it's nice outside. Super comfortable, it feels great, feels awesome. Get out there chasing on some fish. The accesses are not as busy as they typically are, which is another added bonus. And as we move into October, it'll continue to lessen more and more. So, what do you got to add? Anything? Any words of wisdom?
I'm just saying, if I was a fish, I would eat that so fast.
All right. Both of them? All right. Well, get out there, have some fun this week. Make the most of it. Enjoy it. Let's round out our September. When we come back at you, it's hard to believe, but it's here. It'll already be October. And yes, that means Callie's going to go trick-or-treating in less than a month. At that point, right? All right, baby. I love you. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great week. Go out there. Be safe. Set some hooks for me.